Partners, this time around, my researcher and writer, Dennis Daly, has found yet another American patriot whose name is all but forgotten. His story is interesting because he invented something that had, had already been invented. Yeah, actually, he refined an earlier concept, and that totally changed everything. That's a pretty good one, isn't it? Well, since the invention of the automobile, there have been traffic accidents. This is particularly bad in big cities where cars were always banging into each other at busy intersections. Some people had worked on special signals and lights that would tell drivers to stop and start. These were primitive. Most were simply rotating signs in the middle of the intersections. A policeman or another person would keep turning the signs by hand. Wow! Hey, first they would stop traffic going one way and then stop it coming from the other way. The idea was primitive, but it did work. But it had a major flaw. And fixing that flaw was what this week's honoree did best. I can tell you his name now. He was Garrett Morgan. Garrett Morgan, Garrettmorgan. Morgan was born in Kentucky in 1877. While still just a teenager, he left home and moved to Ohio in search of work. He first worked as a handyman in a Cincinnati store before eventually moving to Cleveland. Got his first job cleaning up in a factory that made shirts. Friends, this was a horrible job. If you have ever done much cutting of cloth and sewing, you know that that kind of work creates a lot of dust and lint and fine particles. Garrett Morgan breathed the bad air at the shirt factory until he couldn't take it anymore. But while he was there, he did learn another skill. He found that he could take a sewing machine apart and put it back together with his eyes closed. Did you hear that? A wealthy man found this out and helped the young Morgan set up his own machine shop. Golly, this was in that machine shop in Cleveland, Ohio, that Morgan would perfect 3 items that would make a major difference for us all. First, he actually found a substance that straightened hair. He bottled it and sold it to people with curly hair who wanted their hair straightened. What a guy. Second, he invented a smoke hood that many firemen wear today. His work also helped others to invent better gas masks. Thirdly, he added something to an existing invention. You see, when Garrett Morgan saw all the stop and go signals at intersections in downtown Cleveland, he wondered why cars were still slamming into each other. What? That's right, they're still slamming into each other, and yet they've got these signals. Suddenly it hit him. And partners, in yet another magic moment in American history, Garrett Morgan added the yellow signal to stop and go sequences. The young Mr. Morgan soon became a wealthy man and became the first black man in Cleveland to own his own car. Yes, Garrett Morgan was the son of slaves who went on to invent things that saved lives and allowed all of us to proceed with caution. I'm talking about one man, a black man. Wow, what a little known fact. Yes, partners, You know the drill. Click that big red X up there at the right. You will be immediately brought back to the report page. What a wonderful thing this week is. I love you guys. Go get 'em, Tigers!